Hello, this is Craig, AC5KW, and Mark, W5MAE on the computer. In this training, we'll be talking about WinLink email over HF radio using PactorIII. If you haven't installed RMS Express and familiarized yourself with sending WinLink email, please review the RMS Express basic training and then return to this training. WinLink email is a major component in disaster communications, and we all need to know how to use it and develop our own capability to support it in an emergency. The agencies that we serve prefer to use email whenever possible. Our job is to get the message through, and voice communications doesn't get the job done. PactorIII is the fastest and most robust digital radio mode used by the ham community for WinLink radio email. A faster PactorIV mode is available, but FCC rules currently prohibit its use on amateur frequencies. The German SCS Corporation makes all PactorIII modems. Currently, a new PTC3 USB modem can be obtained from Farallon Electronics for around $1,100. Farallon offers a discount on modems and cables for nonprofit groups that use the equipment for public service. Older PTC2 USB and PTC2 Pro modems can sometimes be obtained used for around $800. The SCS Dragon modems are PactorIII and PactorIV capable and include modem hardware that can outperform the other modems for PactorIII. However, they have a hefty price tag of $1,500 plus. You may be thinking, I can't afford a Pactor modem, why should I care? Your Emergency Operations Center may have one, or other members of your team may have one, and you may be expected to operate it. So in this training, we'll focus on the use of RMS Express with the venerable PTC2 Pro. PactorIII, the best mode available to amateur radio, is more than twice as fast as Winmore's fastest rate and typically 4 times faster when propagation is less than ideal. It automatically shifts its modulation method with varying HF conditions to optimize throughput. And it incorporates forward error correction, FEC, and memory automatic retry request, ARQ protocols, to maximize reliability and minimize retransmissions. Here is a chart showing the data rates and the bandwidth of the various WinLink modes. Using a PactorIII modem with RMS Express is very easy. Start by plugging the modem into your computer using an RS-232 DB9 serial cable to your computer. If your computer doesn't have a serial port, you can use a USB to serial adapter. When using an adapter, you should prefer adapters using the FTDI chipset. Connect the modem to your rig using the custom cable made for your rig. Farallon Electronics sells pre-made cables for most HF rigs. Open RMS Express. Select the Pactor WinLink 2K session type and open it. Click on Setup. TNC Setup. Select the SCS modem model, the serial COM port, and a baud rate. You can determine the serial COM port by clicking on Start, Control Panel, Device Manager, and then in Device Manager, open the COM and LPT port section to find the configured COM ports. If you have other COM ports and are using a serial adapter, you can identify the specific COM port by unplugging and replugging the USB cable and observing which COM port goes away. SCS modems identify the computer baud rate when they're turned on by using an auto baud search procedure. Terminal commands can be issued to the modem to select a specific baud rate, but the auto baud procedure is easy to use. If the modem has been configured with a baud rate, specify that rate in the setup dialog. Otherwise, you can specify a baud rate between 19,200 and 57,600. Click Update. Then power up the modem. You should see asterisk and ready after a moment. If not, power cycle the modem. Most modem rigs can be controlled by your computer. RMS Express can use the control interface to configure your rig when selecting a channel. The CIV interface is used for most new ICOM rigs, and an RS-232 serial interface is used for most new Kenwood and Yaesu rigs. If your rig has an existing control connection, open Setup, Radio Setup, and configure your radio model and radio control port as needed. Computer control of your rig is convenient, but not necessary. If you decide to buy a USB serial cable for your rig, you should have a strong preference for adapters using the FDTI chipset. If you use RT Systems Programmer to manage your ICOM radio configuration, the USB CIV adapter also works for RMS Express. SCS modems can also be configured to control the rig, but there's no real advantage to using the modem interface if RMS Express is supporting the rig. If your computer is connected to the internet, get a channel listing by clicking on Channel Selection, Update Table. Most of the PactorIII WinLink servers occupy frequencies in the low CW digital mode segments of the 80 meter and 40 meter bands. There are also a few servers on the 30 meter and 20 meter bands. The update can be time-consuming when RMS Express is computing the current propagation estimates for each station. By convention, HF WinLink server frequencies are expressed as the frequency of the center of the upper sideband of the transmission. The dial frequency for the rig is 1500 Hertz below the center frequency. N5TW operates WinLink servers on 3596 kHz, 7102 kHz, 7091.5 kHz, and 10,148 kHz. So the dial frequencies are 3594.5, 7100.5, 7090, and 10,146.5. Set your rig to a PactorIII station frequency by selecting a station from the channel selection list or by entering the station call sign and center frequency in the session window. If necessary, set your rig to the dial frequency, set the mode to USB, no speech compression, no receive filters, no audio equalization, no Vox, and AGC fast. Calibration of the transmit level is a multi-step process. For digital modes, signal quality is always better than quantity. Turn the power down to half power or lower. In many cases, 25 watts is sufficient. Verify that the frequency is clear. Configure the rig to display the ALC meter. Click on Setup, PSK Transmit Level Test to transmit a test tone. Observe the ALC meter. This is the ALC meter on the Kenwood TS480. Adjust the transmit level so that it's near the top of the ALC range, but not over. Driving the audio signal beyond the ALC range clips and distorts the audio signal. Driving the audio too little decreases the signal at the receiver, resulting in shorter range and slower effective data throughput. To make an adjustment, click Setup, TNC Setup, and adjust the PSK level and FSK level values. Then click Update and try again. If the level changes don't have enough range, you can adjust the HF rig's audio level input to make the rig more or less sensitive to the audio input. Repeat the adjustment procedure until the calibration is in the ballpark. Don't sweat getting the calibration exactly right. It's not that sensitive. Just make sure that you don't exceed the ALC limit. Now press Start. Your radio will transmit connect requests. It can take up to 5 requests before some servers respond because they're scanning several channels for connection requests. If it says asterisk connected to, you got it. If not, verify your dial frequency and USB mode. Sending and receiving email using PactorIII is identical to other RMS Express modes. Peer-to-peer connections are also supported in PactorIII. To learn about peer-to-peer connections, view the RMS Express peer-to-peer webinar. Periodically recheck the transmit calibration level. It drifts with frequency selection, power level, and band conditions. When using PactorIII, remember to set the rig to USB mode, adjust the transmit audio level to just below the ALC limit, turn off Vox, audio compression, and digital processing, and use fast AGC. Use a low power setting to avoid distortion. Most listed WinLink servers are available 24/7, 365 days a year. Some rotate through bands based on the time of day. It was a pleasure. 73 from Craig, AC5KW, and Mark, W5MAE.